All right, this video is for doing the melodic variation on your theme and variation um, composition. And so you should have already done your theme and your rhythmic variation, and now you're going to be able to change not only the rhythm but also the pitch. So we're going to add notes that go in between the melody that is there, not just keep the same notes. Now there's a couple different ways you can go in between, and here, this website shows you some of the ways that you can go around different notes. And this site uses it in the context of harmony, but it also works for melody. So going from this note to that note, you can use a note to kind of go in between, even though it's the same note. Now this is in the context of the chords. We don't have to worry about the chords yet. We're just thinking about the way notes are moving along. Okay, when it goes up one or up down from line to space or space to line, it's called a step. And when it goes more than that, it's called a skip. So if we're going from this note here and you want to get down to this note, you can go in between. It's kind of like a connecting note, and that's called a passing tone, because it's just going to pass that tone on its way down. It can also go up. There's also something called a neighboring tone. So if you have the same note in two places, you can have one that just goes up to the neighbor's house and then back, or across the street to the neighbor's house and then back. That's called a neighboring tone. And you don't need to necessarily memorize these, but it's kind of a good idea to familiarize yourself with these. And anticipation is when you go to the next note a little bit early. So maybe you have one note, and then a little bit before the next note, you do that same note before. An escape tone is when you step in one direction and then you skip in the opposite direction. And these aren't as common. And the appoggiatura is the opposite. You're going to step in one direction, or I'm sorry, you're going to skip in one direction and step in the other direction. So you're going from this note to that note. So it's a skip past it and then back down. I used some of that in the melodic variation I created in the first video, where you were identifying the different variations. We're not going to worry about these two at all. Okay. So the main, you can also use changing tones. Okay. We're basically thinking about ways we can connect the pitch that is already there and adding different pitch in there. The main ones you're going to be worried about are neighboring tones and passing tones and changing tones. Okay, so you're going to go into your flat dado. This is for the notation, obviously. Oops, sign in with Google. You're going to go up to My Library. And you should have that same document that you did before. We're just building upon that same document. Okay, so you have your theme there, and you can play it if you want. Just check to make sure it's still correct. Now, I may have gone into your document, or your teacher may have gone in and corrected some of it that wasn't quite right. And then you have in bar 13 should be your rhythmic variation. Remember the rhythmic variation, you kept it all the same pitch, and then you just added or subtracted notes to change the rhythm. Now you're going to have your melodic variation here. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually copy and paste your rhythmic variation, and that way you don't have to add in a lot of notes. So what you're going to do is select the first note of your rhythmic variation. Now if you don't select it and accidentally press that, I'm trying to select the note, oh no, just press Command Z to go back, okay? And you really have to press right on it to select the note. Otherwise, you may add a different note. Okay, so that note is selected. Now I can just hold down Shift and use the arrow key to go all the way around, or I can, just like when you're highlighting text, go to the last note and still holding Shift and then select the last note, and it will highlight everything. Then I'm pressing Command C to copy. Then I'm going to select in bar 25 and Command V to paste. Okay. Now you should have what looks like a second rhythmic variation, but we're actually going to change it. So you're going to click on Rhythmic and you're going to put Melodic instead. And just click out of that to have it save in there. Okay, so we're in the text tool. We want to go back to the note tool. If, for example, your rhythmic variation ended here, you don't have another measure, you can just click in that measure, go to the measure tool, and click add a measure or subtract a measure. Okay, anything there. Okay, so we're back in our melodic variation. And so now we have this first note C, and we're trying to get up to this note. So what you can do is, I already have this rhythm here, you can use your arrows to change the note up or down with just the arrow keys. You must keep at least one of the original notes. If you change the original notes, it won't be a variation, it'll just be a completely different melody. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one because that's going to be my original tone. That's going to be my original note right there. But I want to get up to there, so I'm going to move the other ones up so that it goes all the way up. Now I'm creating a melodic contour next to it. So those are kind of like passing tones or connecting tones, okay? Okay, so now I made it up there. It should kind of be in a straight line. It shouldn't be jumpy like this. Okay, some of you might do this. Okay, and a melody is something that can be sung, so you can't really sing that. That's something you might like to play on the piano, but it's not really a melody. So thinking about, can we move in steps and small skips to connect the different notes? Okay, so this one I used only steps. I went from there, one step up, step up, step up to land on this note. Okay, now I have another note. I'm going from G to A. Now I can do a neighboring tone, go up a tone, I can go down, I can do an escape tone, or connecting notes actually. Wait, I'm not sure. Yeah, this would be connecting notes. So I'm starting here, I'm ending there, and I'm going to go a skip up and a skip down, and then I can go there. Or I can do an anticipation there. So I'm playing that note before it goes to the, I'm playing this note before it's time to, okay? So you can be creative, but the main thing is I don't want you to jump around too much, okay? Keep it within a line or a space or two of the original note. Okay, so I'm just going to do a neighboring tone up, and that's going to go nicely into the step there, okay? Now here, I'm going from this note to this note. So what can I do here? It's going down, so maybe I'll move this down. Maybe I'll move that down as well. Okay, now this note goes to that note. So overall, it's moving down. You can do up and then down if you want, but think about the general motion of it. Okay, and I'm just going to follow the pattern there. Okay, then zoom, zoom, and then right here. And then here I'm just going to add a skip in there, okay? And then listen to it and see if you like it. Okay, so then I'm going to go through and I'm going to continue. I can still hear the theme in there. Okay, so it's easier just to use your arrows and go up and down. Okay, but you have to remember those original tones there. The best way to do it is just leave the first one there and then leave this first one there. All right, let's see how that sounds. And it's okay to use patterns. Here I did step down, step back up, and that also connects next down. So here I'm going to do a different pattern. Maybe I'll do some skips in here. Maybe I'll do a skip and a step in the opposite direction. And then I'll do a skip up and then steps down. And then a skip up and then steps down. And then what am I going to do? Oh, I can just make everyone go up and then down. Just go up and down. Or make every other one go up and then down. Okay, let's hear how that sounds. Okay, so here it kind of didn't sound like it was the melody, so I'm going to move some of these a little bit down so they're a little bit closer. Okay, it doesn't have to be complicated. Okay. And that's how you do a melodic, and you'll continue all the way through, so you should have all the way through bar 36 with your melodic variation. Good luck and enjoy.